We have created a series of videos to discuss Texas' long range plan for technology and how you can create a custom plan for your district. First, let's talk about who these videos are for and how to use them. Who is this for? This is designed to guide every district to create their own long range plan for technology. This can also be used to guide individual campuses and classroom teachers. Let's talk about what you will need to best utilize these videos. First, your team. Who in your district is a vital part of the technology conversation? How can you involve the necessary parties and decision makers? Second, bring your creativity. We all face new and evolving challenges daily as we do our best to serve our students. Our technological resources are important and exciting tools that create opportunities for us to think outside the box as we work together to plan for technology and education. Third, download the workbook associated with this module. We will be reflecting on what you're already doing, what you want to begin, and what your goals are. We will be talking about big ideas in these interactive videos. The workbook is a vital part of the process. See the link below to download your workbook now. What are some of the things you'll see in these videos? As we go, you'll see an orange box like this pop up periodically. These definitions will help expand on what we are discussing. You will also see this white folder. This is to remind you to check out the resources that help expand the topic being discussed. These videos are meant to be interactive. We will provide opportunities to pause the video throughout to reflect or make notes in your workbook. So go ahead, pause this video now to gather your supplies and print the workbook. Download using the link on your screen. What is the LRPT and how is it structured? The Long Range Plan for Technology, the LRPT, is an outline of strategic goals for technology in Texas and is intended to be used as a visionary guide to inform and influence educators as you make personalized decisions for your learners. The LRPT is structured into 6 strategic goals. Each strategic goal has 3 focus areas defined within it to help guide strategy creation. Each focus area is further broken down to include the biggest challenge, suggested actions, and short and long-term outcomes. The larger LRPT structure informs how to use these videos and how their resources are structured. There is one video for each of the 18 focus areas. This will allow you to watch the videos in order of what's most pertinent for your district. Each video will introduce the strategic goal and one focus area within it, digging into the challenge, each suggested action, and the short and long-term outcomes. Now, let's look at the LRPT structure as a whole. Remember, the LRPT is first broken down into 6 strategic goals, incorporating statewide trends in technology. Goal number 1, personalized, flexible, empowered learning. Goal number 2, equitable access. Goal number 3, digital citizenship. Goal number 4, safety and security. Goal number 5, collaborative leadership. Goal number 6, reliable infrastructure. As you think about how these goals relate to your district, remember that every school district is unique, so every conversation will be unique. While many share a great deal of challenges, like budget, competing priorities, and security threats, each technology plan should be tailored to individual needs, opportunities, and constraints you have. It's because of this uniqueness that the larger goals are further broken down into 18 individual focus areas. Each focus area reviews challenges, suggested actions, and short-term and long-term outcomes. We will be expanding on this framework during this video, guiding you to build a plan that serves you best. Because it's most likely that you will go through these videos and topics as needed instead of the order of the document, we have built a reference guide to help you easily find where you are in the document, what's next, and what focus area you are in. LRPT will be the first part of the reference description. Next, you will see the strategic goal listed as G, followed by the goal number 1 through 6. Then, the focus area will be highlighted as F, followed by the focus number within the strategic goal, 1 through 3. Lastly, the current section of the focus area will be listed. This could be either the challenge, indicated with a C, one of the actions, indicated with an A and the number, or the short-term or long-term outcome, indicated with either STO for short-term outcome or LTO for long-term outcome. Look for the reference diagram and reference notation in the corner of the slides throughout the video. The fourth strategic goal for Texas Long-Range Plan for Technology is safety and security. The concept of safety and security covers a broad spectrum of services that we strive to consistently provide our students and our entire learning community. This goal requires us to create safety and security on our campuses and in our cyber environments. Also, we must ensure the district's cybersecurity practices are up to date and provide complete protections in digital settings. Lastly, intentionally organizing data management and governance is necessary for building lasting safety and security. Remember to pause this video to print your workbook if you haven't already. Now that we have introduced the strategic goal, let's review the focus areas. There are 3 focus areas to help guide the realization of this goal. Focus area number 1, campus and cyber safety. Focus area number 2, cybersecurity. Focus area number 3, data management and governance. Let's zoom into focus area number 3. Focus area number 3 is data management and governance. For the purpose of this video, what is data management and governance? Generally speaking, data management and governance are the strategies that put organizations in control of their business data. Data is one of an organization's most valuable assets, but it can be a major hindrance if not planned for and managed appropriately. Thinking about the data you collect, how you manage it, and how you use it, would you consider your data a benefit or a hindrance for your district as you strive towards your larger goals? For more information on data management and governance, check out the resources below. Each district will manage and use their data in a slightly different manner as you make decisions aligned with your unique district. That's why each focus area is broken down into the main challenge, action steps to be taken, and short and long-term outcomes to watch for. First, let's talk about the challenge of data management and governance. Remember to download the workbook as a tool to collect your notes and reflections. As volumes of data increase, so do the challenges that LEAs face when managing and securing that data. That makes the biggest challenge here developing and adhering to a master data plan when a complete picture of the entire organization's data cannot be seen. Before we think about the actions you can take to confront this challenge, let's reflect on the various places that data may exist in your district. Data may exist within departments, programs, or even under ownership of individual people. Where does your data currently exist? Pause the video here and use your workbook to make a list of where your data exists in your district. Without clear data retention and storage practices, loss of data often occurs, which can be costly and possibly create an unneeded threat to students and/or staff. Pause the video here and use your workbook to reflect on how your district's data is retained and stored. What practices are currently in place? Continuing to reflect on how your district retains and stores data, has there been an instance when data presented a significant threat? Can you identify where the threat originated from? What was the protocol to manage the threat, and was it effective? Pause here and write these answers down in your workbook. You will be unable to fully realize the potential of your data or protect your data without implementing proper data management practices. Would you say that your district has a complete picture of your data? If you were to outline your data management practices, what would they look like? Pause here to answer these questions in your workbook. This will help you with the upcoming action steps. We know the challenge. Now let's think about our first action. Action number 1 is to develop a collaborative governance group. What data collaborative governance groups are in place in your district? These groups allow the appropriate individuals to make data-related decisions. Thinking about establishing this group, who would the appropriate individuals to make data-related decisions be? Use the resources below to further understand what this group could look like. Pause the video here and use your workbook to reflect on what governance groups are in place in your district, what individuals are involved or should be involved, and what types of decisions they're making related to data. Let's move on to action number 2. Next, it is important to leverage existing data management frameworks. These existing frameworks serve as resources for developing a mature data management program. It is important that all data is classified by risk and protections are included for ensuring student data privacy. What is an example of data being classified by risk? Examples of data classifications could look like this. Low-risk data could be data that is intended for public disclosure, or when the loss of confidentiality has no adverse impact on safety. Moderate risk data could be data that is not generally available to the public, or when the loss of confidentiality could have a mildly adverse impact on safety. High-risk data could be data where the protection of the data is required by law or regulation, or where the loss of confidentiality has a significant adverse impact on safety. Pause the video here to reflect on how your district classifies data by risk in your workbook. What protections are in place for ensuring data privacy for your students? Your district most likely has several practices in place for ensuring student data. These could include things like reducing the amount of data collected, making use of encryption, deleting student records that are no longer required, monitoring activity, creating a student privacy policy for your data, updating your content filters regularly, or patch management and updating. Use the resources below for more information on leveraging existing frameworks for your district. Pause the video here and use your workbook to reflect on how you are protecting the data you're collecting from your students. Now let's move on to action number 3. Action number 3, as we strive for better data management and governance, is to appoint an individual dedicated to managing and maintaining the organization's data. What individual is or should be appointed to managing and maintaining the data and ongoing data governance decision-making process? Not only is it important to have someone to manage and maintain data, but also to oversee the data governance decision-making process. Once you identify who the individual who can fill this role would be, it's necessary to outline how they interact with the data collaborative governance group. Use the resources below to find more information about how to appoint this individual. Pause the video here to reflect on what individual is appointed to this role or should be, and how they will interact with the data collaborative governance group. Now that we understand the challenge and have some actionable ideas, let's look at outcomes. The short-term outcome of focusing on data management and governance is better understanding of the type, location, volume, and ownership of data retained by the LEA. How would you measure better understanding of type, location, volume, and ownership of data in your district? Use the resources below for more information on what better data may look like. Pause here to reflect on how you will better understand your data through these steps and what better data looks like for your district. Lastly, let's review the long-term outcome. The long-term outcome of this goal is improved business decisions, reduced costs, and the ability to automate processes. Thinking about your district, what are examples of improved business decisions that could be made from better data management? What costs could be reduced through better data use? What processes could be automated? Use the resources below to guide your thinking around better data use. Use your workbook to reflect on what better data use would look like in your district and how you would answer these questions. We've covered everything for this focus area. Now what? Continue to reflect on what you are doing and what you have done in support of this focus area. What obstacles and successes came to mind during this video? Who else should be included in this conversation? Find your team. Who is needed to move this focus area forward? Use your workbook and the provided resources as a starting point for a larger conversation around this goal. Start with action 1 and work with your team through each action step to make this a sustainable and customized plan for your district. The ideas you're writing in your workbook will be the material you use to build your district's LRPT. How will you use this reflection process to inform your plan? Lastly, write a short summary statement for this focus area. How would you summarize what you've done and what you need to do for this focus area based on your work so far? Pause the video here to write down your summary statement in your workbook. Thank you for your work to transform Texas education through technology.